welcome to our Talledega episode. Good to see everyone today. Looking forward to the big race on Sunday. My name is Dan. This is my son, Nick. I'm at home. He's at college. This is how we enjoy the Nascar season together. How are you doing today, Nick?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing?
Great. So what'd you think about the Texas race?
Very good race. Lots of DNFs and some surprises, but overall I enjoyed the race.
Yes, so for the fourth week of the playoffs, once again, it was not a playoff driver that wins the race. It was Tyler Reddick. Of course, just a week before that, he was a playoff driver, and he had been eliminated at Bristol. But Tyler Reddick wins the race. So, Nick, in our last episode, I asked you, because non-playoff drivers were winning these races in the playoff period, should we expand the playoffs? Should we do away with this format? Well, let me ask you this time. If Reddick hadn't been eliminated, he wins a race. Now he's up in the front. What's the deal? Do we need to look at this playoff format?
Yeah, that's true. He'd be going on to the round of 8 just fine. But that's the thing. What would you change it to is the issue. Because he was like just a couple points under, and then here he could be going a round of 8 just fine. I don't know the good solution though. That's why I'd say leave it, but if you have a better solution, I'd be open to hearing it.
Well, I don't know if it's the best solution, but what if we did away with these elimination stages and you have your playoff drivers and then your playoff drivers just compete until the end? I don't even necessarily like having one race for all at the very end anyway.
Yeah.
Nick, you picked Christopher Bell. Oops.
Yeah.
34th place. Tire issue caused him to wreck. My winning pick was Hamlin. He was good, but he got caught up in the whole thing with William Byron. He ends up finishing 10th. Our consensus number 3 guy was Cedric. He finished 15th. It was kind of an up and down race. He never got quite that up, but he finished 15th. Now, Nick, with your sleeper pick, you did have Reddick. So nice job there.
Yeah.
Nice job seeing his win coming up. And my sleeper pick was Christopher Buescher, and he finished 30th, and I cannot remember why.
I don't remember either.
Let's start with William Byron, because what happened to him has repercussions. William Byron was good. He finished 7th in the race. Now, with that alone, that would have taken him from 5th place in the standings to 3rd place in the standings, except since the race concluded, he has been docked 25 points as a penalty for wrecking Denny Hamlin under caution.
Yeah, I understand the issue with Hamlin, but then looking at it, like, you can't do that, especially under caution. Like, you could wait. Like, I get the anger and I get the issue with him, but if you're gonna get revenge, wait until it's in the actual race when you can point the blame off of you. Because they were even talking about it today. They saw he accelerated. Like, there's nothing you can do there.
Well, I think I probably agree with what I heard Jeff Burton say. Is he wished that they would have given him a penalty during the race rather than taking away points after the race, of just sending him to the back or sending him a lap down, and allowing the penalty to be served within the race. It's also kind of funny that they're kind of sending the message, well, if you're going to wreck somebody, make sure it's under green flag and not under yellow flag, when the cars are going faster and you can get more people involved. I don't know. Byron's penalty actually sends him back now to 10th place in the playoff standings, and he is 17 points below the cut line. Joey Logano was good in this race. He finished 2nd. He is now the leader of the playoffs. Came in 2nd place. Now he's 1st place. Ryan Blaney had a 4th place finish. He is now 4th place in the playoffs. Chase Briscoe had a 5th place finish. He is now in 8th place in the playoffs. He is the last one above the cut line, 7 points above the cut line. He finished 5th at Texas, but he didn't gain more because he didn't get the stage points that most of these other guys got. Kyle Larson finished 9th. He's now 3rd in the standings. Denny Hamlin, as we mentioned, finished 10th. He's now 5th in the standings. Daniel Suarez finished 12th. He had a nice little jump. He is now tied for 6th in the playoff standings. And Ross Chastain with a 13th place finish at Texas, but he also had good stage points. If you add his stage points, he had the 4th most points of any playoff driver at Texas. And Ross Chastain is now 2nd place in the playoff standings. So those are the guys who made some good moves. Who do you like in that group?
I like Logano. He's just got such a lead at this point that if he's, 37 points above the line, he should be fine for the next round, especially. And even Chastain up there, surprisingly, he hasn't had a lot of issues, or like he hasn't been bumping around a lot. So I like that 2nd place for Chastain also.
So who wasn't good enough at Texas? Cedric, he was up and down in the race. He finished 15th. He did move up to 9th place in the standings. That's only because of guys who had trouble who dropped back. But Austin Cindric is now the first driver that is out as the points currently lie. He is 7 points out. Christopher Bell, we mentioned, tire caused a wreck. He is now 11th place in the standings. He is 25 out. Chase Elliott finished 32nd. He also had a tire that caused a wreck. Nick, how many guys lost the lead because of a tire in this thing?
A lot. I know Truex, Harvick, Elliott, probably more.
That was kind of wild. And then Alex Bowman, we need to bring him up. He had a 29th place finished. Once again, a tire caused a wreck for him. He did limp along for the rest of the race, and he is now in last. He's 26 points below the cut line. And then the news came out this week, Nick, that Bowman actually got a concussion, or he's got concussion-like symptoms from that wreck. Bowman will not compete at Talledega.
The question is if he's even going to come back. Like, it depends how serious the concussion would be. But if he does come back, he's got a hole to get himself out of for sure.
But it seems like now what we've seen is when these cars are backing into the wall that they are getting some hard impacts. When I saw it, it didn't look that bad. Yeah. But since then, I think you've seen the replay also, and his radio, when he backed into the wall, he said that's about the hardest hit. I can't believe that we're actually repairing this car and going to be able to still go.
Yeah.
So there's some safety issues that they're definitely talking about now that they definitely need to get worked out. And of course, now we just go to Talledega where everybody's going to crash.
Yeah.
Let's say you're a Joey Logano, Denny Hamlin, a Larson. You're up there in the standings, relatively safe. At Talledega, what are you going to do? Are you gonna be careful? Are you gonna ride around the back until the end? Of course, you still need to get those stage points. If you're a guy who's pretty safe in the standings, what are you gonna do in this race?
Especially the guys like Larson, Hamlin, and Bell. I mean, Bell's not safe, but starting first, second, and third, get a lead, and just if you stay up, then you should stay out of trouble. I don't see the point in them dropping back. If they can stay up and just stay in front of everyone, they should be good.
So how many cars does that apply to? Like, if you're the 4th car in line, are you still up in front of everybody? How does that work?
You just want to get away from the pack. You don't want to be stuck. Like, you got Elliott starting 16th. You do not want to stay in the middle of the field as Elliott, especially with him not being super high in the points.
And we are recording this just after qualifying has taken place on Saturday. So what's that starting lineup, Nick?
So on the pole is Christopher Bell. 2nd would be Kyle Larson. 3rd, Hamlin. 4th, Almirola.
Okay. So for Christopher Bell, he's on the front row. You're saying he just needs to stay up front.
Especially with where he is, he needs the stage points. So stay up front as best as you can. I know you're going to have to pit and all that, but just lead, and then hopefully, just don't get caught up in the middle, because the middle is where if someone crashes in front of you, you're gonna have issues avoiding it. Even like middle back, and you don't want to drop to the very back. So stay up front. I know it's kind of stupid, but you just want to lead the race.
Drivers like Bell or now Byron or Cedric, they cannot afford a 30-something place finish in this race.
Yeah.
So at Talledega in the spring race this year, Ross Chastain was the winner. In that race, Austin Dillon was second, Kyle Busch was third, Kyle Larson was fourth, Truex was fifth. I don't know. Truex has been sneaky good on some of these super speedways in the last year. If we go back to the Talledega playoff race last year, Bubba Wallace was the winner. Who do we think will be good? It all has to be qualified with unless they get caught up in the big one, unless they get caught up in a wreck. So, Nick, what do you think about Chastain's chances here in this race?
I still think he does have good chances. Of course, it's if he gets caught up in a wreck, but Chastain, I think, can be solid here.
How about another guy who's been good on the super speedways, Ryan Blaney? He's starting 19th in the race. What do you think of his chances?
I still think Blaney does have good chances. He's in the middle of the pack, but Blaney has proven to be very good. Even in the playoffs, he's doing a good job in points. So I think Blaney's got a shot.
And really, at Talledega, it doesn't matter where you start.
Yeah.
It matters where you are when the big one happens. But you can easily start at the rear of the field, and you can find yourself at the front at the end of one of these stages or at the end of the race. I think these playoff guys, this is really going to be a time for their crew chiefs and their crews to shine, because you've got to have a good pit strategy, and you've got to be flexible because that strategy can change based on when the cautions are and other things like that, right?
Yeah, exactly.
We should mention that Noah Gragson will be driving Alex Bowman's car. Alex Bowman is not eliminated from the playoffs. He has a waiver, but he's already last place in points. He's going to receive 0 points for Talledega. Nick, I think, does that mean he's just going to have to win the next race if he wants to continue on?
I think so.
Even if he's back by that time.
Yeah.
So do you have a winner pick for me for Talledega?
Christopher Bell.
Really? Okay.
I believe.
Yeah, you picked him last week. He didn't fare well, but it wasn't so much his fault as it was his tire. And you said that you think this driver is going to do well. I agree with you so much that I think he is going to win the race. That is Ryan Blaney. He is my pick for winning.
I think that's a good pick.
Okay, so then we want to give a top 3 drivers. So we've got Christopher Bell, we've got Ryan Blaney. Nick, what would you think about for our consensus number 3 driver? In this case, Ross Chastain.
I think Chastain would be a good number 3. I can see him being up there for the end of the race.
He definitely could win the race. So he's going to be our 3rd pick for the race. Now, if you can give me your non-playoff best finisher, your sleeper for this race.
Non-playoff best finisher. I can see this guy getting a top 5, Martin Truex.
Okay. Yep. Like I said, he's been sneaky good. I'm not sure why, but he has been. And then for my non-playoff best finisher, look, this guy could win the race. Erik Jones.
I'd like to watch him. I'd like to see that happen.
He almost won Talledega earlier this year, and he's good on the super speedways. And he's been good lately, so I've got to stick with Erik Jones. All right, well, it's going to be a good one. Looks like the weather is going to be okay. Of course, we are thinking about and praying for all the people in Florida and all the people everywhere who've been in the path of the storm. But we're going to be happy to be able to watch this race. Think it'll be entertaining. And we'll see what the repercussions are from this one, right?
Yep.
Enjoy the race, everybody. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.